Don't forget to go down in the description below to check out all the discounts and reductions and special offers available for different softwares. Thank you. In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how to control and manipulate shadow, highlight and midtone in DXO Photolab. Now, you have this automatic button, it calls a DXO Smart Lighting. So what happens when you turn it on, it protects the shadow. That means you recover the shadow if you look at the histogram, and recover the highlight at the same time. And depends on how much you want. You can want slight, medium or high, or you can do as you prefer. So that's the one way to control the shadow and highlight, but it's mostly focusing on recovering shadow and recovering highlight. If you don't want that way, you have the selective tone, where you can push the highlight slider farther to the right or farther to the left to add highlight or recover highlight. Same goes to the midtone. Midtone is generally in the middle of the histogram, so more to the left, right 100, or more to the left, so it doesn't really affect the shadow or highlight. It stays only in the midtone. Same for the shadow, you can use the slider farther to the left to add shadow, farther to the right to recover shadow, which is extremely helpful to manipulate your contrast. You have a black slider, so it's mostly shadow but a bit more extreme to add or recover shadow. So that's another way. You can also use the contrast slider if you want, just the contrast slider. So more you go to the right, you add more shadow and add more highlight all at once. Or you can do the opposite. It almost looks like HDR or a flat image. Otherwise, you can go to the tone curve, and then you can use the top part of the curve to reduce shadow or add shadow. But problem is that you need to make sure you put a point to selectively control your shadow only without impacting the midtone. Then you add a point in the middle to control the midtone, but you need to put a point on the third one in the lower bottom to make sure that when you're changing the midtone, it's not impacting the shadow or highlight. And then you can do exactly the same thing in the shadow area, for instance, or even extreme dark area if you want. Tone curve is very interesting and very useful because that's only one thing that you need to learn very well in order to make sure that you can control and manipulate your highlight, shadow and midtone and overall exposure. And if you know how to use it very well, you don't need to learn anything else in terms of the controlling the contrast and luminosity and exposure in your software, any software, not just DXO Photolab. So I hope it worked. I hope you understood something. Take care of yourself and bye-bye. If this video is very helpful to you until this point, then I highly appreciate your help. If you go down into description below and click in the links necessary in order to chip in some money for coffee so that I can make more videos for you and for myself as well. And thank you for watching this video.